Está con nosotros Helen Qiao, es la Global Research Chef de China Economist de Bank of America, para darnos una fotografía sobre todo de ese entorno donde los estímulos están llegando. Helen, good morning.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon from China. Investors around the world are watching the stimulus package about this stimulus package approved by China. What do you think about the effect will be the China and globally?
Well, I think it depends probably on how much more follow-up measures there will be. At the moment, we are seeing quite a large collection of, I would say, fiscal and also monetary policy and financial policy measures either on the way or just slightly delivered in the recent past. In fact, we are seeing, the interest rate cuts, the reserve requirement ratio cuts, as well as the mortgage repricing. So those we think are all very helpful, in terms of cutting the funding cost for households and also for businesses. And on top of that, there was also the very helpful, suggestion that the PBOC, the central bank, is actually allowing the relending through the central bank to commercial banks, so that commercial banks can lend to individuals or companies for buybacks of stocks in the domestic stock market. So this is all seen as one of the latest efforts of the central government trying to boost the economy, and especially to stimulate the investment as well as consumption. And at the same time, people are placing high hopes and nowadays on the potential fiscal package coming along the way. So, maybe in the next 1 to 3 weeks, as we, are forecasting here, we probably could see that the Ministry of Finance, coming in and trying to boost the current fiscal spending by issuing more government, special government bonds. Those kind of issuance could potentially be used to support consumption, investment, to probably encourage more birth, more childbirth, using subsidies, while expanding the coverage of Social Security as well as healthcare. So those are actually what we think that they could potentially do in the near future. But of course, I think the market is now probably placing in more than just what we described, and hoping that the government is going to do much more.
Do you think that this could be enough in the future?
Well, that's a good question. Enough for what, right? At the moment, I think the market seems to be pretty excited, but whether this is going to be sufficient to stimulate the economy and prevent China from getting into deflation and ultimately reflate the economy, I'm afraid that this is only the first step. I think it's a laudable move to improve the policy communications, but on top of that, we need to see more, resolute moves in terms of fiscal, monetary, policy measures, as well as what we identify as the most important, and that is missing in the Chinese economy at the moment, which is the positive incentives at the micro level. I think that for both public and private sector, people, they are currently suffering from, not seeing enough upside, and of course I think the stock market turnaround offers something new, and therefore the animal spirit may potentially revisit. However, before this is happening, I would say for actually quite some sustained period of time, we're actually seeing that people have been quite discouraged, and therefore productivity suffers and innovation slow down, and people are no longer eager to do risk taking. So that's actually something we think the government probably tried to fix, ultimately to get the economy back on track, which is to provide the positive incentives for people to work. And that would probably take a little bit of time and also more patience.
This market rally will continue in the future for this stimulus government package?
Well, I guess the market is still celebrating over the first step being made in the right direction. But I think going forward, whether this market rally can be sustainable, and we could continue to see such improvement in sentiment, I think depends on later moves. And those moves are also critical, as we just discussed, for fundamental improvement as well.
Thank you very much, Helen Qiao, Bank of America Global Research Chief Economist of China. Good day, good business.
Thank you for having me.